a word on healing and enlightenment, and a word on healing especially. I think that we experience healing when we replace our own mind with the absolute, with that which we can call God, in a way, with freedom. Our mind is a mindset, basically, or our mind becomes a mindset very easily. We become a mindset, and this mindset becomes our prison. It becomes the box in which we live. It becomes the box in which we perceive and interpret things. We make interpretations out of a mindset, out of a certain mindset. We can explain in detail what it is that will constitute our mindset. It's the belief in the validity of thought and language, basically. It's the belief in the validity of thought and language, and we believe in our own mindset, and we produce projections and interpretations out of that mindset. When we replace that with freedom, with the absence of that mindset, then we experience healing, because we are no longer a victim, or we are no longer in bondage, so to speak. We are no longer limited by our mindset, by that which has been our mindset for a long period of time or a short period of time. It is very normal for the human program to become a mindset. We end up in a mindset. That's what the human mind does. It becomes a mindset. And it is like this simply because we need to survive. We are coded like this in order to organize the world and organize ourselves. It's a matter of how the brain works, so to speak, we could say. It's very easy that it becomes like this. So that's why Jesus also says that take up your bed and walk. Don't believe that you are crippled because you're actually not, or the reason why you're crippled is because you belong to your own mindset of being crippled. So when you give up that belief and surrender to the possibility of life, which is God in a sense, then we can experience healing. We give up ourselves and become that which is bigger than ourselves. We give up ourselves and become that which is the absence of ourselves. We give up that which is the mindset in which we give up the mindset to which we belong when we make our interpretations and projections. We acknowledge the limitations of our own mindset, and we see that it's not necessary to be stuck in this language game. It's not necessary to be stuck in this perspective. It's not necessary to be stuck in this language game, in this perspective, in this paradigm of the world. So that's also why we say that you have to die in order to come to life, or you have to become as children in order to come into that which is the heaven or the kingdom of God. You cannot enter the kingdom of God unless you become a child, and to become a child means basically to give up your own mindset. It means to sacrifice your own mindset for the benefit of that which is life itself, which in this sense, in the healing sense, is God, or the source of healing. So when we accept that, the ultimate reality inside us can give us that which we need, we can become healed, because we give up the mindset in which we are stuck. And the mindset in which we are stuck is our own limitation, that keeps us believing in the limitations that we see. But the limitations that we see are only products of the mindset that we're in. It's just a paradigm, it's a perspective, it is a certain set of projections and interpretations made from within the mindset itself, from the language game, so to speak, from the box, from the conceptualization, from the concept in which we live in, from the model of the world that we live in, or from the way that we see ourselves. So many times when people get healing or religious healing, spiritual healing, they often want other people to get the same kind of healing. And they say that, well, if you don't give up, if you don't surrender to God, then you cannot get it. Which is, of course, basically true. But this God that we surrender to should be allowed to be different to all of us. We have to accept our own individuality and our own need for that which our inner heart has understood by itself. So there should be a completely democratic attitude towards healing, because we all have different ways of experience that which is good for us, that which is true for us. And the only basic thing that is of interest here is that we have to see our own mindset for what it is, and we cannot come to heaven unless we see ourselves in a way. We cannot reach the state of freedom and healing unless we are able and willing to let go of the limited belief system that we are stuck in or that we believe in, because that limited belief system is producing mental programs that keeps us in a limited perspective. So to be able to accept that, okay, I am able to give up my mindset for the benefit of a richer life or a more healed way of living, is very important. That we accept to let go of the self in a way, and the self is many times just a mindset. And if it's not a mindset, at least it's a mindset of the self. It's a projection of the self. It's an interpretation of that which we think that the self is. So the self is in many ways a projection or an experience of actually a limited set of paradigms that we have inside ourselves. So when we learn to let go of that, we enter into the state of Christ heart or Christhood, you could say. That, I mean, we become one with the universal Christ. We become one with that which is possibility. We become one with that which is possibility because of the absence of controlling narratives. The controlling narratives are gone, so we are in potential mode, we are in possibility mode, we are in source mode. And this is, of course, the Brahman self, the Atman self, or the true self, you could say. So healing is, in a way, to get rid of the mindset that keeps us stuck in limitation. We don't want to do that many times, and there are many reasons for that. Underlying trauma is one reason. Anxiety, fear for losing that which we think is necessary for us to have. But when we see that we are actually able to surrender into that which we are carried by, as I've said before in some other videos, that we have a paradise inside ourselves. I mean, we have that which the autonomic nervous system produces. The paradise, that which we are, which is completely free from concepts, which is free from the mindsets that limits us. So this is just a little something on that which is healing and on that which is enlightenment, that to see that our language games and that our cultural and religious and political codes are not necessary when it comes to our own experience of ourselves and of life as it is. We can surrender to the source energy that can heal many things because we allow it to heal things in us. So healing is actually a matter of getting rid of the belief systems that keeps healing away from us. when we let go of our attachment to controlling things, then we can get healing. When we no longer need to control the outcome, when we no longer need to control the mindset, when we no longer need to feel that we control, that we are in control, and that life itself is enough in itself. God is enough in itself. The self is enough in itself. The Brahman self is enough in itself. We can belong to that and surrender to that and learn from that the limitations of all our different mindsets are something that we really truly should be aware of. So that when we feel stuck in a mindset, we can know that I can give up this mindset and benefit from the true source that heals that which needs healing. But this is sometimes difficult psychologically and psycho-emotionally, you could say. It is sometimes difficult to do this in a psychological and emotional way because there's a reason for our attachment to the concepts that we believe in. But healing and enlightenment, so to speak, comes from acknowledging the true possibility and the true benefit from letting go of our attachment to limiting beliefs and to any beliefs whatsoever, and just to experience true self or true essence, true beingness as it is, and the relationship between beingness and the ultimate absolute, that which underlies everything. The paradise, the freedom under our mind-brain activity. And that mind-brain activity is an activity of conceptualization. And that's the problem. The problem is the conceptualization that we do with our minds. So when we are able to let go of that and trust the higher power and trust that which is God for us, we can be free from the limiting beliefs and the limiting conceptualizations that are language games and programs that are actually not needed, and that also stands in the way for healing and for true life to occur as it is in its essence and in its authenticity. Well, just a little talk about it that hopefully could have some sense to it in humbleness and with the knowledge of the fact that it all may be wrong. I present this little reflection in the hope that it can open some windows to that which is helpful and beneficial to us all when it comes to evolving out of our limiting mindsets. Thank you.